So I quickly want to do this. Why'd I do that? Because it's the way he's explaining it. He's reading from left to right. If the S&P 500 is going up, Nasdaq's going up. If S&P is going down, Nasdaq's going down. Read from left to right so you have start to finish your setup. So in this example he's doing, he has one uptrend representing the S&P, like I had up on my screen, and then he had another uptrend that looks like it broke structure. It made a lower low on the Nasdaq, right? That is what is known as an S&P divergent, a SMT divergence when looking at two different indexes that are correlated with each other, right? When one goes up, the other's typically going up. When one goes down, but the other doesn't, there is, by definition, our SMT divergence, where the two charts are no longer in the same sync. And as a result, we can predict what one chart's going to do off of one chart has already done. Nasdaq's going down. Oh no, S&P is about to go down. If the S&P goes down but the Nasdaq continues up, guess what? The Nasdaq's about to go down. Understand? And the charts are so well correlated that you can predict this by that S&T divergence. It's a sign, a confirmation that price is about to move in the other direction. S&T divergences are when the indexes lag behind one another, and it only happens at key points. Draws on liquidity. Draws on liquidity occur at highs and lows because liquidity rests there. It doesn't matter which one you spot the divergence on. They could be interchangeable, and the story for the other would be the same. For the sake of this video, I'm going to remain left to right, S&P 500 and NASDAQ on the other. Either could lag behind. That could tell us that the other one is in the correct, and as a result, we should be taking a trade off the one that's lagging behind. Because now we can predict the future off of the SMT divergence. It is going to happen because both are correlated to each other. So, we just reached a point in the video where he's tying everything together, right? He's tying it all together. We made it. Woo. And just in time, too, because we just watched, guess what? We just watched it happen. This candle has yet to close. We got 30 minutes before this candle closes. We just swept this right here, this high. This is a liquidity sweep. Boom. What is a liquidity sweep? A sign, a reversal sign. So I'm going to back up right quick. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Boom. I'm backed up. This is not the time frame to be trying to take a trade off of. This is not the time frame he's teaching us to trade in. This is the time frame he's marking key levels. Specifically, more accurately speaking, he's marking key levels on the 4-hour. All the way up here. He's marking these key levels. He's marking these key levels on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. Boom. Boom. He's marking those key levels. He's marking those key levels. He's going to say market sessions highs and session lows. Anything that's crossed, guess what? We don't care about that high. This is the new high. Anything that's crossed below this low, guess what? We don't care about this low. Why? Because this is the newest low. That's legit what he's about to say. That's what he's about to teach. That's what he's about to do. Boom. Times to trade. Specifically for me, I have to find a trade between 9:50 and 10:30 for New York session. That's New York Stock Exchange opens at 9:50. I am waking up way earlier than that. I am getting on and recording way earlier than that. I'm making a video way earlier than that. I'm not trading way earlier than that. I'm staying up all the way till 10:30. 10:30 is where I'm at. If I have not found a trade to enter an entry point by 10:30, I'm not taking a trade that day. Hard lock rule on myself right now, and I use that word with an iron fist. Hard lock. I am not taking a trade if I cannot find one by 10:30. I will not be making a video if I cannot find a trade by 10:30. You will not see a video posted if I cannot find a trade before 10:30. I will delete the video completely. I will record it, I will let it remix in OBS, and I will delete it if I cannot find a trade before 10:30. Now that we have that out the way, let's get into exactly what he's going with. Everything he has, right? He marks out key levels on the 1 hour, 4 hour, right? He's looking for liquidity, specifically. The highs and lows on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. He's marking session highs and session lows. Okay? Okay? Okay. A, he's waiting price to hit key level. I think it just hit key level. Boom. It is currently 9:46. We're almost in trading time. Key level was just hit. Boom, right there. We just had a liquidity sweep. I'm gonna call that the liquidity sweep. Scale to 5-minute time frame, wait for confirmation, break of structure, inverse for value gap, or SMT divergence. It says wait for one of those confirmations. We're gonna go to S&P. Boom. 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 5-minute from the 1 hour. We're gonna zoom way out. Boom. Boom. 5-minute. Zoom way out. Boom. We can see what price is doing there. We can see what price is doing there. Let's go ahead and do this right quick so I can see really good and close. No way were we actually about to see this happen. We have a minute 53 chat before that candle closes. What are we waiting on specifically? We're waiting on, oh my gosh, chat. We still have a minute 33. We're gonna watch this. I'm happy I'm spotting this break of structure. Woo. There's more to be had after it's formed, though. We're gonna wait that minute 20. We're waiting for confirmation specifically. Scale to 5-minute time frame. Wait for confirmation. It has hit a key level. On this candle specifically, it's hit a key level through that blue line right there. It's crossed a high that was previously marked on a previous session. That's a key level. Up, down, there's our high. From here, we're waiting on confirmation. Confirmation is either break of structure, inverse fair value gap, or an S&T divergence. I do not see any fair value gaps. Break of structure. Per the market open, now we are in an uptrend. That just closed, chat. We have just now freshly formed an S&T divergence. Boom, boom, right there. On the S&P 500, we have same thing here. A guaranteed S&T divergence right there. Boom. What is that saying? That's saying I'm pretty sure the S&P is lagging behind the NASDAQ. I think it is. NASDAQ is saying price wants to continue moving down. S&P says, I don't know about that. So what are we wanting to do? We're wanting to take a short off the S&P 500 because what do we know? Price is going to continue moving down on the NASDAQ. So from here, we're waiting for a 5-minute continuation. We're waiting for either a fair value gap, an order block, a breaker block, or if, again, I believe none of those show up, we're using the equilibrium. That is off the most recent high and the most recent low on the 5-minute time frame. Where's our low? Let's go ahead and mark those now for the sake of knowing. Down, up, recent low, boom. Where's our most recent high? Up, down. Most recent high, boom, right there. Our equilibrium would be within this price range specifically. I think I did pretty dang good, chat, with the way this entire thing's marked out. So I'm looking at, rewind this so I can get that list back on, right? Because I actually did this looking at it and while looking at this chart at the same time, right? We did that. We did this, I think, so well. I think we did. I think. TGR, if you watch my videos, you tell me. Do you think right now I'm doing okay? Huh? With the markings on this chalkboard here? Think it's okay? I think it's okay. It looks okay. I haven't taken a trade yet. I'm slightly nervous, not gonna lie. But, why am I drawing a square? But, I think it's okay. So, what was the first thing we saw? We saw price move through a key level. This was Asian Sessions high, right? It formed a new high here. So I marked it just in case, right? What happened after we did this? We saw an S&T divergence. Price moved low on the NASDAQ, but it didn't move as low on the S&P 500. So, as a result, what happened? Price pushed lower on the NASDAQ than it did the S&P. Price was going to move down. This was our confirmation that after it hit this high, we were going to see the S&T divergence. confirmation that price was going to continue moving up, right? From there, we moved to our 5-minute continuation, which is fair value gap, right? On the 5-minute, we found our fair value gap right here. It's a small one, but it's there, right? From this fair value gap, I believe we were supposed to press buy, right? When this candle closed as a result of continuation going up. But I'm going to stop myself right now because it says on this list after continuation on the 5-minute, because we have 2 fair value gaps here, not just one, right? What do? We wait for 1-minute confirmation. What is 1-minute confirmation? We wait for break of structure or the making of an inverse fair value gap. Does that make sense? On the 1-minute, wait for inverse fair value gap or break of structure. So, from here, we made 1 fair value gap here. Boom. 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 What are we waiting on? We need to scale down to the 1-minute first. Boom. Not the 1 second, 1 minute. Boom. What are we doing? We're in an uptrend right now on the 1-minute. What are we doing? We're in an uptrend right now on the 1-minute. What are we waiting for? Waiting for a break of structure. What's a break of structure? A lower high. What's a break of structure on the uptrend right here? A lower high. Or a lower low. Right? We're waiting for one of these to become an inverse fair value gap, which means a candle body needs to close below it. It needs to become an inverse fair value gap. And just so we're clear, that would need to be below this right here, because that is the true fair value gap that we need to close below in order for it to become a inverse fair value gap. We'll go ahead and mark it on this one as well, just so we're on the same page. There is no confusion. Boom. On the 5-minute, this is from this candle right here to this candle right here. That's a fair value gap. But to get real inclusive, it's that right there. Let's go ahead and hop back over here right quick. This is not a fair value gap. Why? Because price actually cleared this on both sides. It came back down and we have a straight line all the way across. There is no fair value gap in this, so we can straight up delete that. We're waiting on an inverse fair value gap, inverted fair value gap right here. We're waiting on break of structure, a lower high from that. Once we have a break of structure, we've made a lower high. We're going to press enter, right? What position are we going in? We are looking for a buy position. Why? Because we are in an uptrend on the 5-minute, and on the hour, we are in a retrace. We are looking for that new high. We think this is an uptrend. We're going to press buy on it. What levels are we looking for to take? I don't think we're waiting on the hourly. I think if we do happen to do the hourly, we're looking for this high here. Boom. That's about it for that. Per this move down, I believe we are actually in a downtrend. Because we are in a downtrend, we're going to enter a sell position. We're not going to enter a buy position. Boom. Let's go back down to the 1-minute. Boom. Zoom way in here. We're waiting on break of structure and inverse fair value gap. And we, at this point in time, wait. That's what we do. We wait on this time frame. That was a well-identified S&T divergence as well. You can see that clearly on this. Price moved lower here. It was not as low here. So in this case, it was the NASDAQ that was lagging behind the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was what we needed to watch out for when it came to the trade. Because we now know we're in a downtrend on the hour, on the higher time frames. We're going to want to enter a sell position to make the most out of all of this. This fair value gap was just cleared. However, I'm witnessing a lesser amount of sell orders. So I am now waiting for that candle closure below this fair value gap to get disrespected and become that inverse fair value gap like we were talking about before. At that point, it's going to continue moving down. That's what we're waiting on. Pardon the baby cry. He may have fell. May have tripped. Let's go ahead and watch some more of this video. I'm going to watch some more of this video right quick while this is forming and we're waiting patiently for it. We're going to do this right here. Boom. Boom. I think I'm doing very well. So we can't stop time. That's okay. We're going to make time. Boom. We're going to go to our notes. Boom. I'm gonna type this up same way he has it because it worked for the most part, but I think the idea was wrong. My idea was definitely wrong. Why? Because right now price is moving much higher than the fair value gap we had marked out on the 5-minute. It came in, cleaned it up, right? We don't have a fair value gap here anymore. It is not a fair value gap because it was swept, right? We did not get a close below it, so it's not an inverted fair value gap. What is a fair value gap? It is a sign of continuation that price is going to move even higher, right? It was confirmed that price was going to move higher off this fair value gap, and so from that, we could have pressed buy here and watched it move higher. However, I want to see his strategy work because I want it to take a short trade, right? I recognize that on a higher time frame, we are in a downtrend. Just because we're in an uptrend on the 1 minute does not mean we're in an uptrend on the 5-minute. Though each one of these represents like a single minute, right? And it says that we are on an uptrend. We still have this huge leg down right here, right? And we just recently broke above this high. Just recently. Within the span of a day, broke this high. So, with that being said, we didn't sweep this liquidity either. So there was no sign of reversal that it's going to continue higher. So this right here, we're waiting on it to dip back down. We're waiting for that inverse fair value gap. While that's occurring, while we're looking and waiting for that, I'm going to type this up. So 4 hour, I did that wrong. 4 hour. I'm going to type it exactly the same way. In order. 1. Key levels. 1 hour, 4 hour liquidity, and session highs / lows. Boom. 2 times time to trade, because I'm only ever going to be trading one time. I'm never going to change this time. It is set in stone for the rest of my life if I manage to like this enough. New York session, because that's the time I trade in. I'm not going to trade any other time, right? We're going to do this. Boom. Eat. I need to find a trade between 9:50 a.m. and 10:30. I'm going to type this in as my note. Never after 10:30. That's my personal note. 3. I don't have to do that because now it's time to actually get into how to trade. How? Plain and simple. He does this in ABCs. Boom. Boom. Wait for price to hit key level. Did I fat finger something? I did. Boom. B. Scale to 5 minute. Time frame. Wait for confirmation. Where are my confirmation confluences? Break of structure. Inverse fair value gap. Or SMT. Plain and simple. I'm doing this right so far. See. Wait for 5 minute continuation confluence. What are my continuation confluences? Fair value gaps, breaker blocks, order blocks, or equilibrium. I fat fingered order blocks. Oh no. That's done. Tab. D. Good. After waiting for continuation to form, what are we doing? We're waiting. Again. Wait for 1 minute after we scale down for confirmation on where prices on that continuation confirmation, right? What are my confirmation on my 1 minute? Break of structure or inverse fair value gap. That's what we're waiting on. Plain and simple. Okay? Okay. I think we missed it on the break of structure. Would have been right here, right? Because we did make a lower high here, and that would have been our break of structure. We made a lower low. Retrace on the 1 minute. That would have been our confirmation. We could have entered on the close of this down candle here on the lower low. From there, we would have had a decent trade going up to this. So a note for next time, when we go into a trade, when we go into the market to hit this trade, be fast about identifying the confluences on the 5 minute as well as every other confluence under the sun when it comes to mapping it out. Get down to the 1 minute as fast as possible and identify exactly that the confirmation needed before it gets away from you. The phrase early bird gets the worm takes principle when understanding and going in on a trade. E. Enter. Once the break of structure or inverse fair value gap has been identified, enter off of it. Set your stop loss. If this were an inverse fair value gap, right, my stop loss would have been up high, just above the most recent high, and my take profit would have been the lows. I set up for a take profit of the lows. I set up for the short trade. We are still waiting on that price to come back down. That is what we're waiting on. If 10:30 hits, we have 9 minutes, chat. I say chat, comment section. We have 9 minutes. If for some reason we do not get our inverse fair value gap, the trade's a bust. We're not taking a trade. Good day. Here's another note. F. For flunkies. Like me. Hi. Stop loss. Where trade idea is wrong. He also has another one. A G for the greats. Take profit. At other key levels. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually. I think I did very good today. We made it to how to trade. We made it to our times. We made it to our key levels. I want to do this. Because all of this right here, like... Yeah, no. I'm going to delete all of this. Boom. So I'm going to delete this too. This is forever and always. This is what I'm going to look to when I go to trade. This is my calendar. This is my bread and butter. This is what my road is every single time I do this. Every single time I do this, I'm going to hit this road. I will stick to this. I will not change this. I will not move from this until something doesn't work and I have to try again with something else. And it's going to be a battle of psychology because this has worked before and it can work again. I have to understand that this is not always going to work, and as a result, expect a loss. I am open to failure. I'm open to being wrong. I am open to the loss so that experience might be gained. Let's look at NASDAQ. We have not had a inverse fair value gap on the NASDAQ. We are still waiting for price to come back down into this to confirm inverse fair value gap. Once that's a thing, we are going to take a sell trade off of the close of that fair value gap, which means it would need to clear this low here. And on the NASDAQ, it would need to clear this low here. And just so we're on the same page, we are definitely going to be taking a trade on the S&P 500 if and when the inverse fair value gap is confirmed, which I don't think it's going to be. It's 1024 now, and I am currently waiting for 1030. I am waiting for the inverse fair value gap. I am paying attention to the market. If it happens, yay. If not, oh well. We are going to be here for a minute. If you guys are interested in watching me stream Warframe content, tune in to the live stream on Orbs Vault. You can find me at Orbs Vault. Search into YouTube bar. It's pretty easy to find me. You just look for the icon, the red icon that I showed you in that video. Yes, the one where I was legit showing you, like, hey, this right here is me. Yeah, You want to go to that symbol that you see from Orbs Vault with an exclamation point, right? Just so we're clear. Click on that symbol. Hi, welcome to the live channel where all the lives are hosted. We will never host any game content, or we will never host any investing content there. That content is solely meant for gaming. I'm excited for the update Warframe has to offer. It is brand spiggin' new, and I am honestly all in for it. I cannot wait for that update. It drops today. All right. This video is going to be uploaded at around, well, regardless of if I can or if I can't take a trade, right? This video is going to be uploaded because I think we executed everything fine. It was just the speed at which we chose to execute it and the lack of scale down at the commensurate rate time decided to move. So, with that being said, I am going to pause recording, right? I'm going to pay attention to market, and once it hits that key level, I'm going to unpause and we're going to enter trade. Okay? Okay. I'll be right back. So, I understand why. I now know why this is a thing. So, there is a resource that I failed to check before I began looking at market today, right? Because price action looked fine. It looked good. However, I did not expect it to continue going up. It is now 10:31. We have not found a trade entry point before that time. I want to take a brief moment to display something very different. Allow me to swap this right quick. We're going to take this. We go here, right? Oh, I can't. Why is that? I don't know why that's the thing, but you could see this right here just fine. So let's go back up to here. Boom. So essentially, I've added a note for myself. So that way there's always me, like I'm on an hour and a half before market opens, before pre-market even, right? So essentially what I'm doing is I am looking at all of these folders here before I even go into the market, right? I'm looking at specifically the USD stuff. Why? Because if it's a red folder with FOMC, which per my notes, FOMC, if I see any of these four, CPI, PPI, FOMC, and NFP, that is an automatic. Do not trade that day. Why? Because more than likely, per the confluences on the chart, it's going to be wrong. It just is. That's all there is to it. Nothing against the chart. Nothing to say aside from because of this right here specifically, today is not the day to trade. That's just how it is. So, with that being said, I think, with the exception of news, right? With the exception of news, the mock-up, me going into this thinking we could have had a trade was valid. I made two mistakes. The first mistake was pretty simple. I understand to go to this as soon as possible. This needs to be a quick endeavor to map this out as fast as possible, get down to the 1 minute, and from there, spot stuff, right? After that, I need to check news. Or actually, before that, news needs to be checked before that to further prevent us from taking a trade we would have definitely lost. I think I want to end the video right now because it is 10:30. I have 30 minutes before a special doodad pops up, and I have yet to have sleep. So, if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like. If you're newer on the comeback and want to see me succeed at this endeavor, subscribe, because I'm going to be posting regardless. The subscribe button allows you to know when I post a video, and, of course, it'll notify you when it's posted. Usually after I've already done the video. I mean, that's the most logical sense. Comment down below any of your other favorite content creators that I could honestly take advice from, or you have seen their success firsthand and can attest to their experience that I could potentially learn from, seeing as I'm learning from TJR off of my own research and everything else, right? Yeah, check out Orbs Vault on YouTube and check out TJR Trades. I'll be streaming on Orbs Vault later today. TJR Trades has his own schedule. Be sure to check out his channel, watch his videos, give the guy his subscribe and his like. I have subscribed and liked his channel multiple times on many different accounts. Cool dude. I've been studying under him for years. Go check him out. Link will be found in the description, as well as the link to the video I'm watching when referencing everything that I'm doing on this chart here. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching Orb Plus. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.